The movie kicks off with Cole, head of security for NGen Industries, reflecting on his violent past working for the pharmaceutical company. Injured and filled with regret, he blames himself and NGen for the chaos they've unleashed on the world. Meanwhile, NGen CEO, Mr. White, proudly introduces their new supplement, RAK-295, claiming that over 30,000 volunteers have tried it without any reported issues. But soon after, NGen faces a flood of lawsuits as people experience severe side effects, including high fevers and organ failure. Out of the 30,000 volunteers, 29,999 are hospitalized. Dr. Michael, head of the program, tells Cole that Angela Mills, the only missing volunteer, might hold the key to a cure. Cole sets off with his friend Billing to find her. At the same time, MSU cop Joe is bailed out of jail by his friend Steve after hearing from his lawyer about how the media is turning against him. Cole and Billing track down Angela's apartment and encounter her landlord, but all they learn is that she moved out 2 months ago. The encounter leaves Cole haunted by memories of killing a couple, Tommy and his wife, on White's orders. Later, White arrives at NGen, and Cole updates him, no sign of Angela yet. He introduces Billing as his replacement, and privately tells White he's ready to retire. White tells Michael they'll both end up in prison if Angela is dead, but Michael hopes she might be special. Billing gets a tip that Angela is at her stepbrother Matt's house. Michael tells Billing to handle it while he checks on a mutant they have under observation. Angela considers getting back with her ex, Joe, but Matt reminds her Joe killed a kid, and she made the right choice breaking up. Kate is unsure what to say, but Matt calms Angela before heading to his shift. Matt, an MSU officer, meets with his sergeant, who briefs him and his friend Jim on their mission at Battersea Bridge. Meanwhile, Michael shows White the first trialist, John Healy, who developed strange symptoms and was isolated. They've managed the infection with immune suppressants but couldn't stop the mutations. Suddenly, Healy has a seizure, mutates into a monster, and attacks Cole, who loses his gun. Healy also attacks the doctors, but Cole manages to get his weapon back and kill him. However, the infected doctors rise, and Cole gets bitten. It is when Cole gets infected and as the doctor heads to harm White, he stops the infected. Back with Angela and Kate, they spot White's man, Cooper, injured by his car. They notice police trying to calm a man and step back, sensing danger. Elsewhere, Steve reveals to Joe that he sold his cars to pay for his bail, which saddens Joe. They both have no idea where Angela is. Matt and Sam are preparing to leave for their mission when they hear an explosion. Their sergeant appears terrified and speeds off on their boat. They return to the police station and are horrified by the chaos, unable to reach MSU headquarters. Cole wakes up and rescues Michael, only to learn what they just witnessed should be impossible. Cole quickly realizes the infection spreads through bile or blood, and he's infected too. When he asks for a cure, Michael gives him viral suppressants that will slow the infection for 18 hours. Cole believes that's enough time to find Angela. As they step out, Billing stabs Michael, thinking he's infected. With his dying breath, Michael begs Cole to find Angela. When Billing notices Cole is infected, Cole has no choice but to shoot him before he can grab his gun. As Cole heads out, he faces zombies with superhuman strength and agility, enhanced by the RAK drug. Still, he manages to escape the building. Meanwhile, Matt emails Angela with instructions for a helicopter escape. As Angela and Kate leave the house, Cole arrives at her place, checks her laptop, and sees Matt's email, along with her car insurance form. Back with Matt, he nervously asks Jim if he's sure about the helicopter, and Jim reassures him. They hear strange noises from the canteen and get spooked. At Steve's place, Joe sees a news reporter attacked by zombies on TV, just as a national emergency is declared across the UK. Worried for Angela, Joe is calmed by Steve, who suggests they either wait there or head to his fishing shed. Angela and Kate get stuck in traffic, and Kate tries to convince her to forget Joe, but Angela stands firm in her decision. Suddenly, the infected swarm the area, and Angela manages to escape the chaos. As they drive off, Cole follows but gets trapped. An infected cop attacks him, but Cole strangles him to death. When the cop revives, Cole switches cars and escapes. As Angela and Kate head towards Steven's shop, Cole tries to follow, but his car breaks down in the middle of the road. When Angela and Kate arrive, Steve notices a strange car outside and grabs his shotgun. The moment they walk in, Steve and Joe attack them, but Joe relaxes when he realizes it's Angela. She ignores him, focused on leaving to catch a waiting helicopter. In the middle of their argument, two survivors, Lavinia and Jeffrey, burst in, chased by an infected. The creature lunges at Joe, but Steve shoots it down and finishes it off brutally with a rod. Lavinia and Jeffrey explain that anyone bitten turns into a zombie. Cole finally shows up at Steve's shop, but he's already starting to change. He uses a viral suppressant to slow the infection. When he walks in, Joe and the others are ready to attack, but Cole assures them he's still in control. As more infected swarm the shop, Cole hands Joe a knife, urging him to fight alongside him. Steve, Joe, and Cole charge at the zombies. In the chaos, one of the infected bites off Jeffrey's fingers, and another goes after Joe, but Cole saves him, taking down the zombie with cold efficiency. Angela steps in to help Jeffrey, and Steve delivers the final blow to the zombies. Meanwhile, Matt and Jim try to escape their building, only to see a colleague attacked by another zombie. They rush out with the undead on their heels, managing to hop into a boat where they discover the zombies are afraid of water. Back at Steve's shop, the group questions Cole about who he really is, but he lies, saying he's just another survivor. He overhears Angela's plan to escape by helicopter and demands a map to figure out their next steps. Joe asks Angela to stay with him, which sparks a fight between him and Cole, and Angela walks away upset. Meanwhile, a terrified Jim makes Matt promise to kill him if he turns into a zombie. Cole finds Angela and reveals his true identity, explaining that everyone who took the RAK-295 drug has turned, but she's their only hope for a cure. He wants to take her to a lab, but Angela refuses. Joe finds out she took part in the RAK trials, which started the apocalypse, and worries for her. Listening in, Cole learns Angela is pregnant with Joe's baby, and she's determined to keep it. Joe warns Cole he won't let Angela be used as a lab rat. Angela confides in Kate that the RAK trails she took are the reason for the chaos, but she panics, fearing Angela will turn into a zombie. Angela tries to calm her down, but it doesn't work. Jeffrey manipulates Kate, turning her against Angela. When a horde of zombies approaches, Cole urges everyone to move quickly. Jeffrey and Lavinia trick Angela, locking her in a room while Kate runs off instead of helping. Jeffrey, Kate, Steve, and Lavinia flee, leaving Angela behind. Joe and Cole rescue her just as zombies attack, and while Steve and Angela manage to escape in the van, Cole is left fighting off the infected. He blows up gas containers to slow them down. Angela tells Joe she was locked in the room and begs him to save the others. Elsewhere, Matt and Jim arrive at Abraxan, where Matt discovers the helicopter is destroyed. Meanwhile, Steve leads the group to his fishing hut, but they're attacked by a zombie. Lavinia shoves Kate toward it, but Steve sacrifices himself to save her. Steve gets bitten but still manages to take down the zombie. Seeing him injured, Kate pleads with Lavinia and Jeffrey to let her inside. Jeffrey, feeling guilty, argues with Lavinia and eventually opens the door. Kate angrily confronts them for abandoning her, but before things escalate, Joe and Angela arrive. Joe breaks down seeing Steve's condition. When Cole arrives, Joe, furious, points a knife at him, vowing to protect Steve and Angela. Cole stays calm, telling Joe that he's killed more people than he can count and doesn't want Joe to end up like him. He hands Joe a gun, who then passes it to Steve. With a heavy heart, Steve makes Joe promise not to tell his kids before making the ultimate sacrifice. Cole furiously confronts Lavinia and Jeffrey for trapping Angela, but they pin the blame on Kate. Kate, devastated, realizes that Kate didn't even try to save her, but she's still heartbroken. Despite everything, Angela doesn't want to abandon them, but Cole is ready to leave Lavinia and Jeffrey behind. Meanwhile, Matt feels hopeless until he hears a radio transmission giving survivors directions to the east coast of the Thames River. He quickly responds, and they tell him he has 12 hours to get there. As the transmission ends, Jim, now transformed, attacks Matt. Barely managing to avoid detection, Matt realizes his friend is lost. Back with the group, Jeffrey's constant questions about Angela push her to the edge. Exhausted, she asks Cole to take her to the helicopter. Cole gently reassures her that she's their only hope for a cure and promises to protect her. Suddenly, they spot a horde heading their way. As they make their escape to Abraxan, their van crashes in a horrible accident. Joe hides Cole's gun and rushes to save Angela. Everyone survives, but Kate is badly injured. As zombies devour Kate, Angela tries to help, but Cole stops her. Meanwhile, Jeffrey starts to show signs of transformation but keeps it hidden from the group. As Cole tries to lead the group, Joe refuses, telling him to leave Angela alone. Angela tries to reassure Joe that she wants to help everyone, but it's no use. Frustrated, Cole knocks Joe out and carries him forward. When they reach the helicopter, they're devastated to find it destroyed. Unsure of what to do next, Cole is surprised when Matt arrives and hugs Angela, telling them they need to head east where rescue teams are waiting. Cole is skeptical, but Angela calms him, revealing Matt is her brother. As they move ahead, Jeffrey starts transforming. Lavinia grabs Angela, holding her hostage, and demands Cole help Jeffrey. Suddenly, Joe wakes up and points his gun at Lavinia, freeing Angela. After they leave, Lavinia begs to come with them, but Cole shoots her in the leg. The gunshot attracts the infected, and Lavinia and Jeffrey are soon overrun and torn apart. As Matt prepares to leave with Joe and Angela, Jim, now fully transformed, attacks. Angela watches in fear, but Joe steps in, managing to knock Jim down, only to get bitten in the process. Angela refuses to leave Joe, not wanting to lose him again, but Cole urges her to make the hard choice. Heartbroken, Angela kisses Joe one last time and leaves with Matt. Back with the zombies, Cole and Joe fight side by side. Cole admires Joe's bravery, but eventually, Joe is overwhelmed and devoured by the horde. Cole locks himself in a room, knowing his end is near. Meanwhile, Matt questions Angela about what Cole told her, but she simply says she needs to see a doctor soon. In his final moments, Cole reflects on his life and the monsters he helped create. Accepting his fate, he picks up a chainsaw, walks out of the room, and the movie ends.